Alrighty. I have a full coffee. It's the weekend. Let's listen to 500 more voice recordings.
I'm no detective, but something definitely happened here.
Start with this one. The Blessed Organization. Paracriminal groups. I like that. Hmm. Interesting.
Do we know each other? This feels familiar. I can't seem to... I've forgotten it. I'm sorry. My name is Alan Wake. Who are you? Who are you? Do I know you?
I'm your friend Tom. Tom Zane.
Wrong
There's
voice.
nothing to worry about.
Tom. The poet. The diver. You look different.
That was just a role, a character. The protagonist I played in my old film. I'm a filmmaker. An auteur like yourself. We're working on this together, remember? An artistic collaboration.
Huh?
You need a drink. Gippisch.
Endless. Darkness. Nothing holds still.
But we're very close now. You've been writing. We found a way to escape. It'll work this time.
Riding.
You found a way!
No. I don't... Wait. There's something. It's my double. He's out there. I've seen him.
Yeah. Nothing to worry about. I'm dealing with it. It's fine, my friend. Let me handle him.
You've met him? What the hell?
Now, come on. You misunderstand me.
Okay. I don't know what to do with any of that information.
That was the Alan Wake? The famous writer? He disappeared years ago. It was all over the news back then. And Thomas Zane was with him. The poet. No, wait. He was a filmmaker. I always remember that wrong.
She should not know who Thomas Zane is. No one should except for Alan Wake, because in Alan Wake 1, Thomas Zane wrote himself out of existence to erase the darkness, which just reset it. Fun fact. Unless I'm remembering that wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. Alright, let's see what we got going on here. It's dark as fuck. I have sunlight streaming directly onto my window right now, so if I miss like a really obvious puzzle, it's because I'm retarded, but also because I can't see shit. Can't ding the bell. Okay, okay, okay. Another door's open. No? We head back. It's atypical. Turn that off. Guess I'm just turning off everything that makes noise. Sorry for whipping around. Hello? Hmm. Surely must be missing something. This light, but I can't interact with it. You can never go that way. I cannot see shit. Ah, okay. Is there nothing else in here to turn off? Hello? What's this? Hmm. Looks like a key.
Dr. Emil Hartman, devout. Dr. Emil Hartman was desperate. The Federal Bureau of Control had stolen his life's work. This was his last chance, his final experiment. What he'd been too scared to do before. Hartman dove into the lake, was taken, devoured by hungry darkness, became the thing that had been Hartman. Only an echo of him remained, fragmented impulses on autoplay, violent, bloodthirsty darkness in the driver's seat. Emerging from the lake, the thing was captured by the FBC. Brought in, contained, studied. The thing broke loose, killed everyone it could. The FBC fell back and sealed the sector. The thing was alone in the dark, lurking, roaming, waiting. Then something else came. Not darkness, but similar enough. A sound. A resonance. It shouldn't be a surprise. If there's one, why not another? The darkness inside the thing could have been immune, could have resisted, fought, could have been passed by, passed through with no effect. But it didn't, and it wasn't. Maybe it had grown weaker over time, not aged. It was timeless, but weaker with no link to its source. A metamorphosis followed. The thing that had been Hartman went through another change.
Well, okay then.
By hungry darkness, became the thing that had been Hartman. Broke loose.
So I gotta fight
Killed
Dr.
everyone
Hartman
it could.
again, I'm guessing.
Lurking, roaming, waiting. Then something else came. A resonance. The thing that had been Hartman went through another change.
Boom. Oh, I got it. I got it. I'm already been here. But going over there, I'm guessing yes. No? It's awkward. What are we doing here? Hello? Going that way? I guess we could try it. Can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread man. Itch. Okay, well, neither of these are opening, so I'm gonna go this way. I suppose. Do I go for blood or yellow sheets? Go for yellow sheets first. That opens. Let's see if this one opens before we go anywhere. Yikes. Sorry, bro.
Creepy, damp, and abandoned. Why did Wake want me to come here?
Store? Yes. Is there something in here for me? Hello? Where is all the lore? You're inundating me with it before. Bathroom? Oh. Gonna need this. Ugh. Alright.
That doesn't look like a house shift.
Good, bro?
Do I even want to know?
Well, I'm just clipping through it, so. How bad could it be? Why? I don't even want it. But why? I'm feeling we're about to enter combat. Going crazy. So glad the combat's fucking neutered. This should be the most fun part of the game. The glue that kind of ties it all together. And honestly, it probably could be if the weapon accuracy was a little bit higher, if their shield system was a little bit different, and if you regenerated health or had an easier means of healing yourself. But absent those three things, the combat sucks. Unfortunate. Hartman arrest. Kidnapping of altered individuals. Alrighty.
Whoa. Looks like the house has gotten a little wild in here.
Let's try to go up there first, just in case. No? Yeah, that's what I figured. Worth checking. I'll run through all these offices to see if there's any more lore objects. Hello? I'm guessing no. Oh, what's this? Did you leave some lore over here? Okay, well that was worth picking up.
This darkness is blocking the door. So now I have to deal with an interdimensional noise and
We're
sentient
doing Alan
Shinwei
Wake
brings
mechanics.
it away,
Hell
huh?
yeah.
Makes sense.
God, those lights are there. Okay. What am I doing here? Hello? Nothing? Just another light, I guess. Well, might as well take it with me, right? I'm sure I'm gonna need it again.
There you go. Doesn't that feel better?
Guessing this stems from Dr. Hartman. Come on. Really? Get the fuck out of my way. It's just another goo room. Guessing if I kill these, it's not gooey anymore. I don't think this mechanic was ever formally introduced to me, so I'm just guessing here. Am I correct? So far, no. Okay, well. As much as I like screaming in pain endlessly for a dubious reward, I'm gonna keep on keeping on. So I bought a new car. And by bought, I mean when my old car was destroyed by a truck, I was reimbursed for its death. And by new, I mean used, because the car market right now is absolutely psychotic. I guess I should talk about the process, because I made some good decisions accidentally, and I thought that they were worth sharing. Where are we going? We're going down here? Probably not. What is all this shit in? Can I get up in there? Hello? No. So, I actually don't know how much I can talk about it because you signed some kind of legal agreement with the insurance. I'll keep it vague. So, a truck decided to be in my lane without checking to see if I was there or not first, and I thought I could get away, and I couldn't. So basically, the area of the road I was on normally has a shoulder. I was on the far right lane on the freeway, but because of construction, that part of the freeway doesn't have a shoulder because they have a concrete barrier. So if, say, a big truck decides to merge into you, there's really nothing you can do except slam on the brakes and hope you don't die, or slam on the gas. But my old car didn't have enough ass in the engine to get away from the truck. Anyway, so I'm slamming the brakes. The truck gets me. The car's fucked. I thank fucking God was not hurt. But the car was dead, and I knew it was dead from the fucking second the accident happened. It was very, very emotionally unhappy for me because I've had that car since 2013, so I literally had it 10 years, right? Anyway, go through the whole process. The driver stops, he pulls over. He doesn't speak English, but he's making an effort. He stops traffic. The first thing I do, because I have no idea what to do, was I called my insurance company and then got into like an insurance like telephone tree. And about maybe 20 seconds into that, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Hung up. Still don't know what to do. So I call my coworker and go, hey, I've been in an accident. My car's fucked. I'm stranded on the freeway. What should I do? He says, call the police. That should be obvious, but when you're in a blue screen brain moment of I almost died, your brain kind of shuts off, or mine did anyway. So I call the police. They are on their way. My coworkers are on their way. I keep interacting with the truck driver. He's got like a translation app on his phone, so we're kind of like trying to communicate that way. He tried to give me his boss on the phone, but his phone was cutting out. I think good decision number one that I made here was don't freak out on the other dude. A lot of things can happen to cause a car accident, and if you get unlucky, the person who hits you is a huge piece of shit and will just leave or not even acknowledge it, or that a lot of things can go wrong there, right? Being a dick in that moment, in my opinion, can't make the situation better, but it can make it worse. So I didn't do that, even though I was, literally saw my life flash before my eyes. Actually, that's not true. So the weird thing about the accident is that even while it was happening, I wasn't even remotely afraid of death, which is strange to me. I was really afraid of my car dying, which I could not avoid, unfortunately. Anyway, the police pull up. They have a wrecker on the way to take my car to the nearest junkyard or whatever, car accident repository, right? Cop asked me for all my information. Cop asked the other guy for all of his information. Here's another thing, too, to keep in mind. This is obvious, but bears repeating anyway. Make sure all of your effects are in order. Current license, current registration, current insurance. If any of that shit is sideways, I feel like it's gonna play against you even if an accident is not your fault. I could be wrong about that, but I doubt I am. At the very least, the police are gonna fuck with you, and you don't fucking want that. Anyway, cops take all our information. Car gets loaded up onto the bed of this truck, gets taken away. I get taken to work. Um, I get the basically wait for the info to come from the cop, right? This guy doesn't speak English. His truck is marked, but like barely. It's got a Mexico license plate, which makes me nervous, but it was a company vehicle. Thank fucking God. Um, anyway, uh, get to work. Just try to do my work day, because what the fuck else can you do? And now you got no car, right? So you just do whatever you can. But I got the info from the cop uh, on the other guy's insurance, on the other guy's company. So I call them immediately, and this might have been a mistake, but here's the thing. Before we proceed any further, here's what you need to know if you did not already know about a traffic accident. If you are injured, that is when a lawyer will take your case. If you are not injured and you're an ethical human that doesn't want to fake being injured when you're not, there is nothing that you can do as far as like negotiating. All the chips are in the other insurance company's favor because property law, that's what was damaged in this case, is cut and dry. The reason I know this is I talked to 4 fucking lawyers before I called their insurance company, because I basically, all I did initially when I called them was say, this accident happened, this is my information, I don't know if I'm hurt, um, let's get this process going, essentially, right? Then I called a lawyer. I called 4 lawyers. I called 3 from online, and they basically all said the same thing. Oh, you're not hurt. That's great news, but we can't help you. Called a 4th lawyer that was a friend of a coworker, like a family friend, and that guy actually had a more in-depth conversation with me, but the gist was the same. If you're not hurt, a lawyer can't help you. I mean, a lawyer can help you with like filing paperwork maybe, but like whatever your expectation of like getting paid is, you're basically at the mercy of the other insurance company if you were not injured. That's why it's a good reason, it's a good idea to not tell them that you weren't injured unless you're absolutely sure. Anyway, at this point, because I know I don't have cards to play, I don't try to play cards, and I think that was a good decision, at least in my case. Your mileage might vary on that. But when their insurance adjuster called, I was very forthcoming with information. Their investigator, I should say. Here's another thing that I did that I think everyone in this case should do. When you call the police, you will get a police report. Now, in the state that I live in, you have to pay for the police report. It's not expensive, but you do have to buy it. That's fucking stupid and annoying. That's a separate conversation. The point of this is, I bought the police report the second it was available, and I gave it to their insurance company as soon as I could. And I think that greatly expedited the process, because otherwise, you're waiting for them to file a request, to send, you're adding like weeks or months onto the thing, right? So when the insurance or the claim inspector, or whatever the fuck you want to call him, was ready to talk to me, all of the information, I gave it all to them already. Like, there was nothing for them to have except for my, witness testimony. I can't remember what it's called. Affidavit or whatever. Anyway, talked to that guy, was very nice to him, was very nice to the other person, because I talked to 2 people from their insurance company. Here's another decision that I made that I think was a good one, and I will tell you why. When they asked If I had like alternate transportation or I needed a rental car, I told them, no, I don't need a rental car. That might sound like a stupid thing. How the fuck am I going to get to work? How am I going to get around? And in your case, if you're in a car accident, you might need that, and it just is what it is. But I will tell you this, when I told them that I didn't need one and I could make do for the time being, but it was an inconvenience. Later, when the claim paid out, they paid me $2,000 more money because I didn't take a rental car. Um, so anyway, I went through the whole experience of, giving my testimony. It pretty much matched. I mean, this, again, credit to the driver who hit me. The only stupid thing he did in the whole process that hurt me was hit my car. But everything he did after that, he did the right thing. Thank fucking God. He was honest. He admitted fault. He admitted fault to the police. He admitted fault to me. He admitted fault to the insurance company investigator when they spoke with him. So everyone was telling the same story. So it was basically cut and dry. Um, at the end of the day, I expected, I'll tell you, when I Kelly Blue booked my car, the one that died, obviously, um, I was certain, based on the results, that I was going to get fucked by the insurance company. Because basically what Kelly Blue Book was telling me was that my vehicle was worth $2,500, which is such a low ball, I can't even tell you. Like, when I went shopping for a replacement car when the time came, cars that were identical to mine and worse were going for 7 grand minimum. That's just the market right now. Don't know if it'll stay that way, and who knows when you'll listen to this, but I'm telling you, in this time period, that's an insane number for how much. I had a 2009 Honda Civic with 130,000 miles on it, and shit was in the process of going bad with it, right? But it's still worth a lot of money because everything is worth a lot of money right now. Anyway, the point of me mentioning all of this is to say I expected the insurance company to fuck me. I was like, I'm gonna get $2,000. I'm gonna put that into a down payment on a car that's $15,000, and I'm gonna have a $500 monthly payment, and I'm gonna want to fucking shoot myself in the face because my life is miserable. Thankfully, that did not happen. The insurance guy gave me actual fair market value on my car, probably a little bit more, but not way more. And then that extra 2 grand on top of that really helped. Really pushed me into, oh, I can probably get a car. Here's my two, technically I have three choices, right? Choice number one, I get a very high mileage car at a low price, roll the devil's dice, and whatever's left from the settlement I can use for repairs. That didn't feel like a good move. Option two, I get something in a more reasonable price range where my down payment covers most but not all of the cost, and then do a payment on whatever's left for financing, right? That's the option I ended up taking. Option number three, which sounded appealing at first but got less appealing to me over time, was getting a lease. Now, my buddy swears by leasing, but it just didn't feel like the right choice for me. But to be fair, I didn't investigate that option as thoroughly as I could have because I got more money than I expected to. If I had gotten less money from the insurance company, then I definitely would have just looked into leasing because this market is fucking absurd. But I got a significant enough number that I'm like, let's just get most of a car. Let's get 85% of a car and pay the last 15% and be done with it. Anyway, that brings me to the next part of my story, which is searching the car market for a car. But I guess before I get to that, I should say my car accident happened about from the time the accident happened to the time the investigation was concluded, and then I got paid. My downtime was about 2.5 months. Which apparently is insanely fast. And I think the only reason why that happened is for all the reasons I said before. I streamlined the process. I was helpful. I reached out. Deposition. That's the word I was trying to remember. I didn't fuck with the deposition. I was proactive with them. They didn't have to fight me for anything. And I think that's what expedited the process. I also think my insurance investigator is a nice guy, thankfully. I got for such an unlucky event, I got very lucky all the way through. That was about as good as a car accident experience can be, right? I didn't get hurt, I didn't get fucked, and I didn't wait a million fucking years for the money. None of those things happened. Very grateful. Next step, find a vehicle. Right now, the car market is absolutely fucking insane. I, you know, I had very specific requirements for a car to start with, and I figured I would bend if over time those requirements were too difficult to meet. But I started with I want a Honda or I want a Toyota, right? And the reason why I want one of those two things is because they both have a reputation for lasting a really fucking long time. Don't want a fucking American car. Don't want an expensive European car that's a fucking baby to maintain. Don't want that. I want a car that if I drive it the way I drive cars, it will drive for 100,000 million years, right? So, finding that is difficult. Let me amend. Finding that with reasonably low mileage is difficult, right? I know from experience in my last car that around 100,000 miles, that's when shit starts to go wrong in that car. Not like catastrophically bad, but like hundreds and thousands of dollars of repair over the next several months bad, right? Starter goes, the alternator goes, the steering pump goes. Uh, what else went? My air conditioning went. Like they didn't all go at the same time, but they were close enough together that I felt the pinch, and I was like, oh yeah, I definitely own an old car, right? So I was not looking for a car at 100,000 miles or above. And let me tell you, 80% of the market is 150,000 miles and above. It's unfucking real. And you really got to look out for that because these cars look beautiful. They are good at cleaning them for photos. But underneath the hood, God knows what the fuck's going on there, right? Now, the vehicles that aren't insanely high mileage, like we'll say the lowest that I saw was 35,000 miles, which is unfucking real. It was a 2007 Honda with 35,000 miles. I couldn't fucking believe it. I also didn't get a chance to buy it because my money didn't land in time. Um, but the lower mileage vehicles, they go so goddamn fast, it is unfucking real. They got listed today. I found a car. The within 10 minutes of the listing going up, I sent my girlfriend to the dealership. Oh well, I I happily asked her, please, could you check this out for me? And she happily obliged because she's a good person that wants to help me out of this situation, right? Point being, saw the listing. She goes to the dealership. Less than an hour later, the car is already sold before she gets there. Now, I don't know if that was like just the dealer being kind of shady to get people to show up, but we had that happen twice. I found a very low mileage Honda Fit that I wanted to get as literally as we're driving up to the dealership, and this is in the morning. The fucking people are like buying it and like getting it ready to drive off the lot. Fuck me, right? Then I look at another low mileage Honda. Low mileage on paper, but when I take it for a test drive, it's got problems. And more so than problems, the dealer has the wrong fucking vibe. And here's a trap that I almost fell in that I want to mention, which is the way this market is so insane, you end up looking for a car that has to fit a tremendous amount of criteria, which is kind of rare, which makes you filled with anxiety, right? So when I went to go look at the Honda Fit, I had all my energy poured into getting that car, right? Check this car, make sure it's perfect. Mentally seeing myself as a Honda Fit owner. In the future, you go through all these dumbass emotional steps, right? Then you get there and the car is gone. The very next step I did was just open up Auto Trader and look at other cars that were in my range and like immediately drop my standard, right? That's how I ended up looking at this Honda. And when I get there, the dealership, if you want to call it that, they're very, the vibe is wrong, right? I walk up, I'm like, I am interested in looking at this car. And the guy's like, okay. Then he goes in, grabs the keys, walks up, and I'm like, this is like a new experience for me. The last time I bought a car, I didn't know any questions to ask, so I didn't ask any. This time I wanted to be a little bit overcautious, so I probably asked too many. But right out front, I'm like, hey, can I see the transmission fluid and the oil? which should take them 3 seconds to check. And he said yes, but seemed apprehensive. Like he was expecting it to be bad. Now, both were fine. The transmission fluid was fine, the oil was fine, but his vibe was not fine. Then he fucks off, and I'm, sitting in the office waiting to be helped. I can't remember why he left. It was to go do some other thing. But the other guy who was helping me, he's like, well, I can set it up for a test drive if you want. And I'm like, yes, please. And here's the thing, and I'm embarrassed to admit this. I almost did not fucking test drive this car because for 2.5 months, I've had no car, and it has been absolutely miserable. When you're a human that has had the freedom of having a car, and like you've gotten used to a lifestyle that involves using a car to get places, bumming rides everywhere is like the worst fucking feeling. It's unfucking real. So when you find a car that looks visually fine and seems on the surface level to be fine, check the Carfax. The Carfax was fine. No accidents, no problems, no issues, and relatively low mileage. I think it was 65,000 miles. So I almost didn't test drive it. My girlfriend's like, "You're gonna test drive it, right?" And I'm like, yeah, definitely." But if she hadn't said that, I might not have, because I'm a fucking idiot. Anyway, we get in the car. So the way the car was parked, he had to like move other cars and then pull it out and stage it for us. The reason I point out this detail is important. And I'll get to it in a second. So he pulls it out, he stages it. He's like, "Yeah, sure, just drive it around the block, whatever." So that's what we did. We got in the car, and like it felt heavy. Now I was looking at an Accord, which is bigger than what I'm used to, which is fine. But the steering felt heavy. Like in motion, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. Like the vehicle felt heavier than it was. And again, thank fucking God, my girlfriend's like, "Before you drive back to the lot, pull into a parking spot and then like back out of it," which I was not gonna do, because like I said, I was in the slip and slide mindset of let's just buy a car and be done with this already, right? Because this car was in my price range. So I pull into the lot and I park it, and we sit there and we talk for a second, and then she's like, "Okay, back out." And when I go to back out, I fucking have to crank on that steering wheel to turn it. I mean, two hands really fucking pulling. Now I know exactly what this is because this is what happened to my previous car. The steering pump is dead, or it's out of steering fluid, right? Hang on, let me close my chat program. 1 second, because that's annoying as fuck. Okay, where was I? Yeah, so I know it's either out of steering fluid or the steering pump is going or it's gone, right? When I get back, I park it and I mention it. I'm like, "Hey, the steering was a little heavy at low speed." And the dude's like, "I used to be a Honda, the service manager at a Honda dealership, and Accords just have heavier steering. That's how they are." And this goes back to like he had to pull it out. I'm telling you, the way it was parked, there is no fucking way that he did not notice that the steering problem was there. And when I pointed it out, he kind of blew it off, but in the weirdest, most passive way. Like this dealership didn't have the vibe of like, I'm desperately trying to get you into a car, which is what you expect from a car dealership. It had the vibe of like, "Oh, you want a car? Yeah, okay, cool. Oh, you don't, if you don't want a car, that's fine too, whatever, I don't give a shit." It was fucking weird, right? And, so, thankfully I have a group of friends that all are not in the market of buying cars, and their scam radars are through the fucking roof. Because I'm like, trying to sort of mentally make excuses for why this is okay, which is stupid and wrong, but is absolutely what I was doing. Anyway, I text my friends, and I'm like, "Hey, tried this car out. It visually looks good. The steering is heavy as fuck, though. Oh, I got the guy to check the steering fluid, too, and the steering fluid reservoir was full. That means the pump's dying." And on my last car, that was like a $600 repair, and that would not show up on a Carfax because they don't die until they die. Now, why this one is dying 50,000 miles before mine did, I couldn't tell you. Maybe it's an age thing because this car was a 2010, my car was a 2009, so maybe there's a time consideration there. Doesn't matter. What matters is they were fucking dishonest in this weird passive way. So literally everyone was telling me, don't buy this car. And we drove away because they didn't do financing there, which thank fucking God, because I might have just muscled through anyway. Because again, I really can't overstress this. I'm a brain dead fucking retard, right? And that's not a good person to be when you're trying to buy things that might fuck you later if they're not right. Anyway, I talked with my girlfriend. I got the consensus. Like, everyone is saying what I'm feeling, but not acknowledging. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. Let's just drive away, right? And so we leave. We give up shopping because those were the only two anywhere near us options to open up. Uh, Everywhere else is a 3 hour drive one way. I didn't want to fucking do that, so we called it a day. The night I got home, a car becomes available like it got listed after all the dealerships were closed, right? It was like 10 p.m. or some shit like that. I saw it, I went, this car looks good. I'm gonna go check it out tomorrow. When I got into work, thankfully, thankfully, the way my work is, I can do things like this where it's like, oh, I need to leave for like an hour to go check something out. Well, I never do that, so no worries. Like, no one is freaking out if I'm not there, right? In fact, I took my boss with me. Um, and so we get there. It's literally in the middle of nowhere. We walk up, and the look on the dude's face is like, what the fuck? I just listed this car. And I'm like, this is how it is now, man. Like, if I want to take this fucking seriously, I gotta like go the second it's listed. We test drive the car. It seems fine. I don't see any real problems. It has some minor cosmetic defects that I don't care about. It had some low tires, which I was able to fix in like 10 minutes. Um, it seemed fine. It seemed like a good buy. I especially got a much better vibe from this dude. Now, granted, this happened like a couple days ago from the time of me recording this, so this car could still be a fucking lemon, horrible piece of shit. Don't know, but I don't think it is. It seems nice so far. It is tremendously quieter than my car was before it died. Like, it's so smooth and quiet that if you have the radio on, you can't even tell if the car is on, which is awesome. Um, but like the vibe of the dude was totally different. You know, I basically explained what the situation was, where I was coming from. Uh, at the point in time, I could not fix the low tire issue, so I mentioned it to him, and he was like, they do the financing in house, and he literally wrote on the contract, if this is like a sensor issue, we'll replace it for free, which he did not have to do, and I don't think he needs to do anyway. Like I said, I resolved it myself, I'm pretty sure. But the fact that he was like helpful and straightforward and like listened and was like trying was a million times better. The car seems a million times better. So fingers crossed this dumbass nightmare is over. But I feel like I learned a lot from the experience emotionally, certainly financially, and logistically. And I thought I would impart some of that knowledge onto you. I'm sorry for that very long rant. That was a very long way of saying I bought a car and I'm pretty happy with it. Hopefully I stay happy with it. Let's continue, shall we?
The third thing, the sound made up. The resonance carves its way through the thing that had been Hartman, vibrating, remolding. The sound changes the darkness, and the darkness changes the sound. They both changed what remained of Hartman. They all turned into something else. A third thing. The sound made darker. The darkness made louder. Hartman was stretched. Stretched as anyone when seen from out of time, like a worm through time. Almost an Ouroboros, a spiral, a maelstrom. The gravity well of a black hole, twisting inward, tightening, taking you deeper and deeper to the bottom, the heart, and through to the other side. The third thing said, when you hear this, you will know you're in new you. He said, we build you till nothing remains. He said, under the conceptual reality behind this reality, you must want these ways to drag you away. He said, baby, 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 yeah, orange peel.
Huh?
The third thing was a monster. He'd tear apart any ordinary person crossing his path. Now he crashed out of darkness toward Faden. There was nothing ordinary about Faden.
Alrighty, that's fucking
Heard the
weird as
darkness
shit.
made louder. Hartman was stretched.
So let
like
me
a
guess, I'm
worm
about
through
to
time.
fight a boss.
The third thing was a monster. Now he crashed out of darkness toward Faden.
I'm looking for a battery. I have a feeling this is going to be split into a whole other video just because I spent so goddamn long talking. Like, if I hadn't spent the last 20 minutes talking about my dumbass car, I bet this would be like a quick one and done, probably. But we'll see. Because we are very close to me being done with this video. Thanks, NASA. Although, who knows? If I stop recording and there's like 15 minutes left in the DLC and then this game is done for real, I'll probably just tack it on to the end of this video.
Reminder, all employees are required to report their hours at the end of each month. The Federal Bureau of Control maintains that time is not subjective, and hours passed on alternative planes cannot be claimed. Astral dives do not accumulate overtime compensation. Thank you for your attention.
Okay. Leave it to the government to not pay OT for your fucking job getting 40 miles longer when you're walking back from the break room. That's actually a thing that happens in House of Leaves. I probably mentioned it before, but there's a scene where the characters realize that the rooms in the house are literally growing, expanding, and changing size and shape. And they find this in a staircase that basically like launches down like a fucking spring, adding like thousands of years of travel time if you were to walk up them. That's a fucked up book. Hello?
Agent Fisher, day 6 inside the motel. Utilized surveillance methods are as follows. Fiber optic cameras slid under the individual room doors. Motion detectors in the lobby area. Tripwire, triggering a flash camera across the main entrance, even fingerprint powder on the front desk. Results are varying at best. But mostly just inconclusive and unusable. The footage is corrupted. Sometimes even the equipment is damaged. I don't know how, exactly. I think this place is making fun of me. That's the only explanation. I can hear them laughing and screaming behind the closed doors. I can hear the call bell go and ding multiple times a day, but when I look, there's no one there. I know I'm supposed to stay out of sight, but I've seen the doors closing just before I can catch even a glimpse of anyone or anything. They're messing with me, whoever they are. I think... Wait, shh. There's something. I gotta get this. Gotta get the cable out. Come on, you fiber optic fuck, cooperate. Okay, there we go.
Okay. It just kind of ended abruptly.
All right. That was faint, but I definitely heard movement coming from the hallway. I think I might have finally caught one.
Apparently it's not done.
The recording better work this time or I swear to God I'm... What? Hello? Who's there? Oh, shit. I'm with the FBC. Move away from the door. I have a... Where's my...
Is it done now? Hmm. Alrighty. What are these? Are these missions? I feel like these are missions and I don't want them. So I'm going to completely ignore them. I wonder if they'll explain what the clicker is from this game's perspective in this game. If you'll recall, the clicker was the item used by Alan Wake to kill the darkness in the dark place, and it was left to him by Thomas Zane and was like a supernatural object from his childhood. It was implied to be supernatural based on what it did. Oh boy, lights are back. But by the definition of this game, or by how this game classifies things, it is undoubtedly a altered world object. There's no shot it isn't. And since they exist in the same world, we'll see. Train derailment. Interesting. Hello? I gotta climb on the
My
desk?
understanding of the darkness is fragmented, incomplete. This abyss, this void, it very much does not wish to be understood. If light symbolizes knowledge, then it stands to reason that darkness would equate to ignorance. By its very nature, it abhors comprehension. Of course, my own nature drives me to comprehend all. We are opposing forces, destined to collide. And given this conflict of natures, we know that the light of truth will burn away the darkness, both figuratively and literally. Any significant light source can be used as protection, even weaponry against this metaphysical gloom. And then there are the artists. I know for a fact that Tom, Wake, the Anderson brothers, and Lane all had some involvement with the darkness. The question is whether their uncanny ability to affect reality through their art beckons the darkness, or did their work perhaps even create it? With Wake now secure in my lodge, I expect I shall grow closer to learning the answers to these questions. Assuming he cooperates, which is proving quite the challenge. Well, perseverance is the foundation of knowledge. Speaking of, I must be off on my rounds.
The shadow. Yes. Well, we know what the shadow is. Looks like I need another fucking power cube. And it's still dark as fuck. Yep, been in there. Where my power cube at? Hello? Alright. Where'd the fucking light source go? Can't see shit! Okay, well. This is all very not great. I do not see our critical cube that we need to proceed. Maybe a little backtracking is in order. Or maybe I just do that. Does that make a difference? I cannot tell. Nope. Certainly didn't. Hello, power cube? We have a hidden power cube? No? What a conundrum. Well, we're right about at the end of the video, so unless I find one in the next, like, I don't know, minute, we're gonna call this what it is. Did I walk through this section? This doesn't look familiar to me. But maybe it's because I went through it the other way. Yes, there's no power cube in here, is there? That'd be really stupid. Really annoying. Power cube? Hello? Got a ladder that goes to nowhere? Nope. Alrighty. Well, I'm gonna go back to that control point and save. And then I'm gonna look up a guide and do this in the next video, I think. That's okay. What's all this then? Construct Surge. That's neat. Can't make it though. I'll just go fuck myself, I suppose. Alright, well, thank you for watching. Until next time, goodbye.